Mark Garrow, PRN, way back in the cheap seats, William. Congratulations first. Hendrick Motorsports, when it comes to these big moments, has a way of writing endings like somebody would make for a Hollywood movie. Mm-hmm. What is it about those organizations that keeps coming up with these kind of scripts that nobody can imagine? And today is another one. Not only do you win, then you got to go 1, 2, 3 just to put an exclamation point on it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my Ashley was telling me today that the script was written. We were gonna win. I was like, I don't know how you had that panned out with us starting 18th and can't pass at this racetrack. So it just worked out. But yeah, I mean. To answer your question seriously, I think it's just a lot of hard work, attention to detail, and when you walk in the doors at Hendrick Motorsports, it is just fascinating to me how clean everything is, how nice everything is, and then how the culture is with the people inside there, and being able to go up to anyone and ask a question. There's a real racer's mindset to go fast and compete, but at the same time, they took me in with open arms, when I was 20 years old, and made me feel at home. So I think that's special, and you don't have that everywhere.
You've won a lot of races here lately. I think we were talking a moment ago, 9 of the last 44. What's it feel like to be no longer a surprise in victory lane, but a regular in victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think the more times that you win races, the more you realize how difficult it is and how many things have to go right. And just to stay on that edge to have what it takes to win is difficult. So we've been working super hard. I think we've learned and refined some things as we get through stretches where we have some difficult runs. But there's less doubt in our team that we can do it. And I feel like that is a unique thing that comes with winning races, is knowing that you're capable. If you get everything right and you do your job, you can still win. So but yeah, everyone's really hard. I mean, today it was obvious. We had a great car, but it was really difficult to get to the front.
We'll go to Bob.
Bob Huckers, Fox Sports. Overtime restart a week after all the controversy on restarts. Did you? Mm-hmm. Was there any part of you wondering where to go?
Yeah.
and did that play in your mind at all during those tons of laps under caution? Yeah,
I mean, I definitely think about it. Yeah, I didn't want to jump because I knew that was I'd be the first example made. But at the same time, just thinking about how can I not spin my tires? How can I get a good launch? I got an okay launch. I got to look back at it, and I felt like the guys around me, because knowing the restart zone, knowing the position I'm in, being vulnerable with what happened last week, they took advantage of that, and they had a little bit better launch than me. So, yeah, it stinks that it kind of, that things like that happen and you have to kind of adjust, but that's just the nature of competition. And I felt like I still had a decent launch and still was able to get into 1 and 2 and have a decent restart.
We'll go to Dustin next.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Obviously, the last time you were here, you were almost gassed and overheated and on the pit wall there for a long time. And to go from that to today, and I know there were other circumstances to lead that. What is that like, and how different the last fall to today is for you? Because I mean, you looked awful at the end of that race. Yeah,
I mean, I was spent last fall, and I think that brought a lot of anxiety and nightmares coming up here this time, and I think that just coming up the road and thinking about what's the progress we've made inside the car, we've been working on it nonstop to try to get my helmet and fan feeling better, and then I've been doing a lot of work in the off season, working out and things of that nature, so it all adds up. But our car, we had a really tough day in the fall. It was one of the worst, experiences as a team, but one of the best experiences to realize the resilience that our team has. And I think that showed today, because it was really hard to pass and things were tough out there. But I just knew I had the team behind me, and I knew what experience we had been through in the fall. with a bad car, and to take a good car and be able to still knife through traffic and things of that nature was definitely rewarding. So yeah, it's really a 180, but I think that fall race gave us a lot of fuel to be able to come back here and try to create another good memory.
And I'm also curious, look, there's only so many days of the week. There's only so many hours. There's only so much you can do. There's all these other races that you've got to focus on. But to struggle like you did last fall, and even the company as a whole for the most part, how much effort goes into a weekend like this, or even the last two, because I know you guys have talked about short tracks, because there's other races to focus on. So how much of a focus has the last two, or even this race in particular, been for you and your group?
Yeah, I mean, we treat every race the same. We prepare, but they're not. But we prepare equally as hard. But I would say that long term, we knew that the short tracks were a weakness, and so we started working on that in the off season. And we just like we did on the road courses, we just had to take baby steps. And we just said, okay, can we finish 10th? Can we finish 5th? Can we lead laps? And it just, until we checked those boxes, I knew we weren't gonna go to Richmond and win, because we weren't there yet. But we had a great test, we had a great Phoenix, and we started stacking some things. And it's tough in this sport. You can't just go from running 12th to winning, but you definitely start stacking some things, and I feel like our team did that. And I know I have the confidence in our group that if we start hitting on some things, then and just putting races together, we can do it.
We'll go to Jacob next.
Jacob Zillman, Race Face Digital. William, two for you. First, they told the story on the broadcast for those who didn't already know. Your first race that your dad ever took you to at 8 years old was here. You've got two clocks here. Today being the 40th anniversary win. Does this all just add up to, I know Charlotte's home, but make this as special a place for you as anywhere we go?
Yeah, it's always been special here. I think that it's just kind of been in life cycles, really. Like, I feel like when I came here as a race fan, it was all about trying to be closer to the sport and watch it. And then I had the period of time when I got to know or understand the industry more. And my buddy Stefan took me to Martinsville, and we sat on the pit box of Phil Parsons' race team in turn 4 and watched the race. And I was about 12 at that time, and that was right before I started racing. And yeah, I think, and then I started racing, and I had my first truck race here, finished 3rd. And so it's just kind of like different life cycles that I've been through, and this is always kind of that place that you come back to and try to remember how much progress you've made from the last time. So it's a tough place. Yeah, definitely didn't realize how tough it was from watching in the stands. It's a grind out there. So it's a rewarding place to come here with your team, because it takes everyone.
For being the kid that grew up not only dreaming of driving for Rick, but building your career with him pretty much every step of the way you have, does the reality that you sit in now, a 500, this win, I mean, everything that you've done the last couple of years, could you have pictured that being reality as a 15-year-old kid just starting out years ago?
I don't know. I just know that I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew that if I put the work in, I felt the first time I got in a race car, I felt the feel that I had for everything going on. But it took a lot of work to catch up, and I don't know. I think I just try to stack years, year after year, and try to learn more, and I'm surrounded by great people, and I think that's the key in the whole thing is people that believe in you and having a chance to go out there and give you what you need.
Check up in the press box. Any questions in the press box? Okay, we'll bring it back down here. We'll go to Zach and then John.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. William, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what does it say about the resolve of the number 24 team in Hendrick Motorsports as a whole when you're able to set such a specific target to improve on those short tracks and see those results come to fruition, especially on a day like today where all 4 of you guys were running top 10 all day?
Yeah, it's just trust and communication during the week. Just getting having those honest conversations that were difficult of things that, I could improve, and then things that they could help me with the car. And you just try to put the egos aside and just think about what does the race car need to do better. And we just really try to focus on it that way. And we had some good conversations after Martinsville here. I think we finally, last year, here in the fall, we were finally honest with each other about where we are on these tracks and just slowly start to chip away. And it's just been a productive off season, productive few months to be able to make progress on it.
And then we'll wrap up with John in the front here.
John Newby, NBC Sports. So I know that obviously hard work, fast cars, those all go into winning. But can you give me a better sense of why, like, you've been able to go on this tear? Because from an outside perspective, it seems like, in football, how veteran players say that the game slows down for them.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't slow down, but I think that you just I don't know. I just feel like I trust myself a little bit more, and just I know during the week that the preparation and the things going on are going to equate to the results. And when you've had those things happen in the past, you start getting a rhythm to it. It just starts stacking. So, but there's still, this sport is really competitive. It's not like football. You don't win half or 3/4 of the games. I watch a lot of hockey, and they win a lot, or they tie, or go to overtime, and we don't win a lot in this sport. And it's very similar to golf. There's a lot of elements that have to go right. So I just feel like it's just trying to chip away and be mentally strong.
Well, William, congratulations, and thanks for the time. Good luck at Texas.
Appreciate it.
There's the checkered flag. Great job, driver.